Title matches, gimmick matches, hot chicks dressing up as characters in revealing outfits. What's not to love about NXT Halloween Havoc? Well, I'll tell you what's not to love, and that is the big, fat, gay Quincy Elliott coming dressed as a big, sweet banana, pretending to be a big fat penis, and once again he's bending over, shaking his big fat disgusting ass, while Shotzi Blackheart stands there and continuously slaps that big fat ass. Again, I've got to have a rant on it. What the fuck is that? Nobody wants to see Quincy Elliott's big gay ass on their TV screen. What I want to see is, I want to get Shotzi Blackheart, I want to get Mandy Rose, I want to get Gigi Dolan, I want to get Roxanne Perez, I want to get Cora Jade, I want to line them all up, get them all to bend over, and I want to slap their asses. That's what I want. I don't want to see Quincy Elliott's big fat ass on my TV screen. But again, we live in a weird world. We live in 2022 where men are bad, women are great. You're not allowed to be an alpha male. Therefore, you're not allowed hot, sexualized women on your TV. So instead, we'll give you a big, fat gay guy for you to, drool over. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. I'm not going to drool over Quincy Elliott. But what? Was this pay-per-view worth drooling over? We'll find out. I actually thought it was pretty good. Halloween Havoc. I think it's the first non-WCW Halloween Havoc that I've actually watched. And you know what? I'll give it a thumbs up. I would maybe even give it 2 thumbs up. But there was a few things that bothered me, and I will talk about it when we get through this review. That's the words I was looking for. So, let's look for what happened first. And we kick off with the hosts of the show. Shotzi comes out as the Joker, looking hot. Big Fatty comes out. Quincy Elliott, no idea what he was dressed as. I wish he would dress as the Invisible Man so I wouldn't have to see him, but nah, and unfortunately he was dressed in like black, I don't know, maybe it looked like a bin bag. I've no idea. Right, it didn't look good, whatever it was, it didn't look good. Then we get the ladder match, first match of the night. It is for the NXT North American Championship. Booker T speaks about how he remembers Joey Mercury getting his face busted up, and Booker T reminds us that this match is dangerous, and he says it's not his cup of tea. Booker T doesn't like ladder matches. So lots of good stuff in this ladder match. It started off a little bit slow, and I thought, you know what, it's the same shit that we see in every ladder match. Seen it once, seen it 1,000 times. But then, in the second half of the match, it actually started to get really good. There's a lot of cool spots. We had Carmelo Hayes like poised on the middle rope. Nathan Fraser jumps up and almost does. It was like Nathan Fraser did a lion salt, but he grabbed Carmelo Hayes while he was doing it, and he just flipped them both over, and it landed up on the ladder. So it was like a lion salt on the ladder, but with Carmelo Hayes, and it kind of like turned into like a face buster on Carmelo Hayes. Great move for Nathan Fraser. I kind of like Nathan Fraser. Guy does a lot of good moves in the ring, but there's something weird about him when he speaks. I don't know, he's got something. I'm not saying he's great, but the guy's got something. Plus his theme song's decent as well, so I'll give Nathan Fraser's a thumb up. Then we get Aura Mensai. He's about to win the match. Trick, though, gets in the ring. Trick Williams pushes the ladder. Mensah tries to jump from the top of the ladder to the outside, but he doesn't clear the top rope, and it's a bit awkward. He kind of gets caught on the top rope a little, and then he just falls into all the competitors who was outside, so the referees come over to check on them, and this could have been a nasty injury, but thankfully I don't think anybody was hurt. Then we get Trick Williams and Stone in the ring. They're battling on top of the ladder. Robert Stone hits Trick Williams with his shoe. Trick Williams then pushes the ladder over, and Robert Stone falls to the outside. So again, big stuff happening in the ring. Then Wagner pulls out a big massive ladder, but he accidentally hits some fan. There's like some big fat black chick in the front row, and Wagner accidentally like hit her in the face with the ladder when he's pulling out the ring, and then everyone starts calling him an asshole. I mean, it was a fucking accident, man, get over it. But I guess that's a good way to get heat, just accidentally hit some big woman in the crowd with a ladder. Then Fraser puts Wagner through the ladder, frog splash off the top rope, and then they get in the ring, and Wagner somehow back up, and he gets Wesley up in a gorilla press slam position, runs towards the ropes, and just launches Wesley over the top rope and onto the announce table, and Wesley just like, it's a sickening FUD, man. He bounces off the announce table, then flies into the barricade, man. It was unbelievable. I've never seen this much distance on a gorilla press slam. This was impressive. This was actually crazy, to be fair. Then we get Fraser and Mensah. They both take out Fagner using a little ladder. Then they take each other out. Then Carmelo Hayes thinks he's all alone, but he's not all alone. Wes Lee gets back up, and in Shelton Benjamin fashion, he runs up a ladder, starts brawling with Carmelo Hayes on top of a ladder, and then does a senton, like a seated senton, off the top of the ladder through Carmelo Hayes, who was like laying on top of a ladder that was propped up against the ladder, and he just like crashes through the ladder. Then Wes Lee climbs up, he grabs the title, and he wins his first ever individual singles title in any promotion. So you know what, big night for Wes Lee. I'm not a massive fan of the guy. Look, in these matches he can do these flips and stuff, he can do these high risk maneuvers. I just don't think the guy's got much of a personality or a character. But having said that, he got screwed when his tag team partner got released because of the whole Me Too shit. You know, that was kind of shit on Wes Lee, because he went from being this tag team wrestler that just won the belts, and then all of a sudden he had to vacate the belt, and his career kind of went nowhere through no fault of his own. You know, he just got caught up on lies from some vindictive bitch. That wasn't Wes Lee's fault. So it's good to see that Wes Lee is, you know, getting a shot now. So I don't really like the guy, but I think fair's fair. He got treated unfairly when he got stripped of the belt, so at least he gets to, you know, have a title now. So he's your new NXT North American Championship. We then get, we're shown like a segment from earlier, Alba Fire and fights Toxic Attractions, like a haunted Halloween theme park. Toxic Attraction goes, they're in the car, JC Jane doesn't want to leave the car, she's scared. Gigi Dolan is like calling her a chicken. Mandy Rose is like, look, the sooner we take care of this, the sooner I retain my title, and the sooner we can leave and just go home. Gigi Dolan's like, come on, let's get this over and done with. Mandy can retain, so the three of them get out. They go into like a haunted theme park. Mandy says they need to split up so they can find Alba Fire quicker. JC Jane's like, you never split up. The horror movies say you never split up, but they eventually split up. Alba Fire takes them out one by one, takes out JC Jane, then takes out Gigi Dolan. Then she grabs Mandy Rose and manages to like throw her in the back of a car and beats up Toxic Attraction some more. And then she leaves the theme park with Toxic Attraction beating up at the theme park, and Mandy Rose like in the back of the trunk of this car, and she speeds off, I'm guessing, to the arena. So it kind of gives you the idea. It kind of like plants plants something that Mandy Rose is going to be on her own when she defends the title tonight. So they're kind of like taking Toxic Attraction out of the equation, basically. That's what I got from this. So it looks like tonight's match could be just one-on-one. Then we go to the casket match. It's Cruz versus Waller. Cruz, there's a battle on top of the announce table. Cruz gets stabbed by a pen. Vic Joseph says, oh, that's my pen, but they never put over the fact that he stabbed him in the eye, or the fact that the whole thing started over Waller injuring the eye of Cruz. So I thought the commentary team would have noticed that a bit more. Maybe Booker T is not even aware, but Vic Joseph definitely knows what's happening. So I think he should have caught up in this, because it felt like a big moment, and the commentary team didn't even really acknowledge it. With lots of spots with the casket, when Waller pushes Crew off the top rope to the outside, and he goes through the casket. He crashes through the casket, man. It was insane. So they're both on the top rope. He just pushes them off, and Cruz falls to the outside and literally goes through the casket like it was a table. And Waller thinks he's won the match, but he hasn't, because you need to go into the casket and the lid has to close. Apollo Crews actually went through the top of the casket, so the match still goes. Lights turn out. Are we getting the return of the Undertaker? Unfortunately not. It's just droids. Droids are coming out. They bring out a new casket. The match continues. I guess Cruz is back up now. The lights go out, gave him extra power. He continues to fight with Waller. Cruz gets Waller in the casket, but Waller manages to fight out of it. Waller gets out. Both men end up in the casket, so now they're sitting in the casket. It was fucking weird. Cruz then throws him out of the casket, then hits a big frog splash from the top of the casket to the floor of the arena. Waller then gets him in the ring, goes for a tombstone, Undertaker style. Cruz counters it, hits it into like a gutbuster. And then Waller tries to roll out the ring, but Cruz kind of prevents him, grabs him on the apron and hits a choke slam from the apron into the casket, and finally closes the lid on the casket to win this match. Like I said, good match, lots of good spots with the casket. I really enjoyed this. We're 2 matches in, and they've both been really good. I'm giving them both pass marks. They've been, I'm not going to say phenomenal, but they've been really good. I've enjoyed both of them. Then we go backstage. It's the Chase U University. Mr. Chase is annoyed that people failed on their Halloween Havoc 95 homework, so basically nobody knows shit about Halloween Havoc. Chase says he won't address it too much now, though, because they have a new transfer student. Bodie looks behind him, and it is Duke Hudson. Bodie is annoyed that Duke's here. He says he hates transfer students. Mr. Chase says, well, just get on with it, basically. Then he offers 10 bonus points for anyone who can tell him the answer to who beat the Outsiders at Halloween Havoc 1996. Bodie guesses it was the Steiner brothers. Mr. Chase says you're wrong. Then he guesses the Nasty Boys. Mr. Chase says wrong again. And then Duke puts his hand up slowly and goes, I believe it was Harlem Heat, Booker T, and Stevie Ray. And Mr. Chase is like, correct. And then we got Fia Hall just looks at Duke as if she wants to like bang him. Bodie turns around and looks at Duke as if like, I fucking hate you. And then Duke gives Bodie, he gives him like a double people's eyebrow. It was great. He just like, it was fucking like, it was like cartoonish, but it was really funny the way he just like lifted his eyebrows up, you know, like a double wink kind of to like say, I'm the new fucking Andrew Chase, teacher pet, so get used to it kind of deal. It was really good. You know, I like this. Then when they're leaving, Bodie tells Chase he doesn't trust Duke. Chase says that he doesn't trust him either, but he's got to give him a chance, and he tells Bodie he needs to be prepared next time for class. So again, I mean, good segment. What pissed me off though, you go straight from this to like a promo about Bianca Belair saying, I am the EST of WW, and it's like, you go for something great, just like a Bianca Belair fucking advertisement promo for Raw, and the difference in quality, I mean, you go from Chase University to Bianca Belair, and it's like going from, I mean, it's going from like eating a steak dinner to like eating rat poison. The fucking difference is insane. Then we get Cora Jade versus Perez, Weapons Wild match. Roxanne Perez comes out dressed as Harley Quinn. Anyone who comes out dressed as Harley Quinn is going to get, you know, it's going to get passes from me. It's going to get thumbs up for me. I mean, yeah, we've got, I just don't get it. We've got Quincy Elliott getting his ass slapped. Why can't Roxanne Perez, why can't Cora Jade and Roxanne Perez just kiss and make up, literally, just, you know, fucking start making it in the ring? Doesn't happen. What we do get, though, is a decent match, you know, brawling, lots of weapons, steel trash cans, kendo sticks, you name it, they had it. Roxanne Perez brought out a skateboard with her to obviously fend off the attack of the bat that Cora Jade uses. Obviously, Cora Jade used to use a skateboard, so I don't know if Roxanne was playing mind games there. They're brawling all through the arena. There's one point they're up on the balcony. Cora Jade is teetering off the top of the balcony. It looks like she's about to fall off, but Perez hesitates, doesn't want to knock her off. So then Jade like kind of grabs them, and they both fall off, but it looked more like a spot where they were trying to protect each other rather than like an actual wrestling move. Now, I get it. I mean, I'm not saying they should be killing themselves. 2 young women, you know, they don't want to do something and have a serious injury. At the end of the day, it's fake wrestling, but when you seen this spot, it did look like, it definitely looked like 2 people that were just, you know, doing their best to make sure that they protect each other and that they land it safely, rather than make it look like a wrestling move or, you know, some sort of like dangerous fall, because it didn't look like that. It did kind of look soft, but I mean, fair play. It was like a 12-feet drop or whatever. Then they get in the ring. Cora Jade says to Perez that you were never my friend, but then Perez counters the move, and Perez tells Cora that she was her best friend, then hits pop rocks on a bunch of steel chairs to get the win. Bit surprised, there's about 10 steel chairs laying in the ring, and Perez just hits a finisher on them. So yeah, a bit surprised that Perez won this, but I mean, I don't really care who won it. It was a good match. 3 matches in, and so far it's all good for me. Then we get Shotzi Blackheart coming out again, dressed as Beetlejuice. Quincy comes out as a fucking banana. I mean, what the hell is this? Shotzi says that Quincy is the sweetest banana she's ever seen. Then the tippiest banana looks like a big penis hanging out, and it's just fucking weird. Lash Legend comes out, says that she's not happy that someone from SmackDown is hosting when she is, perfectly capable of hosting this show. Quincy says that, Lash Legend has a great look, but when she's on the microphone, it's a living nightmare. Then Shotzi says, don't worry, Quincy, I've got this. Shotzi hits a DDT on Lash Legend, and then Shotzi and Quincy, like I said, Quincy starts like fucking thrusting his hips and twerking, and Shotzi starts slapping his ass. I mean, nobody wants to see that. We've seen it once on NXT. I'm hoping it's not going to be a reoccurring thing. It's like, at least if we need to see that, let's have it both ways, okay? I mean, can we? If Quincy Elliott is going to shake his ass and get it slapped on NXT, could it not have been the opposite way tonight? Could Shotzi not have been getting her ass slapped? Is that too much to ask? Can we not have a little bit of fairness here? I mean, Jesus Christ, why does it have to be the gay man that is getting his big ass out on the TV screen? I don't get it. Well, I do get it, but I don't like it. Anyway, up next we have the Schism. They say they will reveal a new member this Tuesday. I mean, who cares? I hope the new member kills them all. They fucking suck. Hopefully the new member's Chris Benoit, and he just locks them all in the crossface and never lets go. The Schism are absolutely horrible. Speaking of horrible, I don't like Julian Creed. I don't like Damon Kemp. Ambulance match up next, but it was actually alright. It was actually not a bad match. With one spot where Kemp is inside the ambulance and he's using crutches. He's like wedging them against the door so that Creed can't slam the door shut and win the match. And then like later on in the match we'd Creed in the match and he didn't have a crutch, so he just used his fingers. Kemp keeps slamming the door on his fingers, breaking his fingers, but because his fingers were in the way, Creed was staying alive in the match, which is pretty cool. There was one spot in the match, Kemp is in a wheelchair and Creed wheels him into so there's these steel steps like are in the ring, but like the edge of the steel steps are hanging over the ring apron, and Creed just wheels Kemp, who's in a wheelchair, straight into the steel steps head first. And I guess that was kind of poetic justice there, the fact that Kemp put Roderick Strong in a wheelchair. Now he's been wheeled about in a wheelchair, so yeah. Then, like I said, Kemp was in the Kemp gets Creed in the ambulance. He's whacking the door off his fingers, and then all of a sudden, Creed just like hulks up and jumps out the ambulance, beats the shit out of Kemp, and then lifts Kemp up, carries him to the ambulance, throws him in the ambulance, and wins the match. The match itself was okay, but I thought the ending was a bit anticlimactic, man. It's just like, I don't know, he just won it out of nowhere. It was strange. It was very strange, but it was alright. It was decent. I didn't mind it. Creed wins, and his retarded brother gets to stay on NXT, so that was the stipulation. If Creed lost, then Julian Creed, or Brutus Creed, whatever his name was, would have to leave, but because they won, the Creed brothers get to remain on the development show. Then we had, so this was pretty good. I liked what happened next. So with the ambulance leaving, we had the ambulance taking Kemp to the hospital, and while the ambulance is driving away from the arena, in the same shot we see a car speeding towards the arena, and it's the same car that Mandy Rose was thrown into earlier. So it's Alba Fire arriving, pulls Mandy Rose out the car, they start brawling to the ring, their match gets underway. Alba Fire dominates, but then for some reason Toxic Attraction come out, and we were led to believe that they were taken care of at like the theme park, so it was going to be a one-on-one match, but no, Toxic Attraction come out, cause an upset. Alba Fire has to take care of them both, beats them up, takes them out, but then she turns around and she runs in to a big knee for Mandy Rose, and Mandy Rose retains. And in Alba Fire's words, Mandy Rose is still your NXT Women's Champion. And she's had that belt now for a year, so a year-long run. Look, it was a pretty quick match. I guess it was quick because they also had like a cinematic brawl in the theme park earlier on, so I guess they weren't going to do a full-length match here. So I'm not saying it was bad. I mean, it was okay, but I do kind of think Mandy Rose's title reign is getting a bit repetitive, you know, it's kind of like the same thing. Mandy Rose faces somebody, Mandy Rose looks like she's about to get beat, Toxic Attraction come in, cause a distraction, Mandy Rose hits the knee, Mandy Rose gets the 1, 2, 3. Then Mandy Rose marries me. Well, the last part doesn't happen, but the rest of it does, you know, so, I don't know, maybe change something up a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if Mandy Rose is going to the main roster soon. I think she's done everything she can on NXT. Like, I mean, what more can she do, realistically? Then we move into the main event. Braun Breaker defending his NXT Championship against JD McDonagh and Dragnafitch. Just a match that I just don't care for. I'm being honest. I do not like Dragnafitch. I don't really like JD McDonagh. Something really surprised me. Like, Shawn Michaels came out and said like a week ago, he was asked what is he looking for in the next NXT star, and he turned around and said personality. He said he's looking for a character. Yes, that's what he said, personality and a character. And if that's the case, then why is he bringing all these people from NXT UK that have zero personality and have zero character? All these people, like Tyler Bate, like JD McDonagh, like Dragunov, like the old Japanese chick that lost to fucking Mandy Rose, none of these people have anything. At least with Alba Fire, the WWE have at least in NXT, they've tried to repackage her, but before, she was just known as Kaylee Ray and she had absolutely nothing. So I just don't get it. What you look at the Scottish gang, I forget what they're called, but the people from NXT UK are all bland, they're boring, they're just wrestlers, they're indie fucking wrestlers. So I just don't get it that, you know, they say that they're looking for personalities and characters, yet they are, you know, implementing a lot of people from NXT UK into the real NXT when the NXT UK roster